Okay, so who have we gone the longest without using? Because I think we've done a decent job of switching things around as of late. We went Garrus plus Liara on the previous go-round. We used, what? Ashley plus Tally, I want to say, on the one before that, or something. I think it's been the longest since we used Caden. I think that much is... certainly the case. Then, outside of that, I mean, if we're not taking someone with combat ability here, we, of course, aren't bringing any combat ability to the table either. So I think that probably means if we are taking Caden, should go with Ashley. Especially since we aren't thinking of taking Garrus, that rules him out. So it'd either be Ashley or Rex, and I think we've been using Rex a lot lately, so in the interest of mixing it up at least a little bit, we'll use Ashley. Not so long since we last used her, but like I said, mix it up a bit, at the very least. Alright, so we are definitely not starting in the middle of the map, based on how we are already seeing the edge of the map here. So let's take a look at what we have. And we're near the northern edge. And it looks like that's going to be our base here, right in the middle. Yeah, that's the Syndicate Hideout. Then got some other things here, an Anomaly, a crashed escape pod, and some debris. So I think what we probably do here, especially since we're already on the perimeter, is we'll just take a loop around, and then we'll finish by cutting into the middle and taking a look at that base, and that will be that. And in that case, it's basically just a question of, do we go clockwise, do we go counterclockwise? What's our preference? I mean, we usually go counterclockwise, so we'll go clockwise here. I mean, I think most recently we did actually go clockwise, but it's just that, you know, generally speaking, that's been the trend. Okay, so... Oh, I was going to say, I thought for a second this was Ashley, just because I was looking at the abilities, and only the abilities, and I saw electronics, I was like, Ashley get overload? What? Oh, you know what it was? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw the color scheme, and this is the starting armor for Ashley. Looking at the abilities, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw Ashley's armor, I was like, what? Why does Ashley have overload? This is Ashley, who does not have overload, as you are now seeing, but anyways, at least for Caden, I think that was the plan, was to get him there. And then with Ashley, for you, what if we go... I mean, we're trying to push Carnage a bit, but just not sure we're going to have enough to get all the way... hopefully we can get all the way up to Master Carnage. Let's go for it. We'll try. And then we've already done all of our upgrading. Oh, what? Excuse me? Oh, you had another... I did not even realize you had 2 points. Okay. Sounds good. Not much closer to Master Carnage in that case. Okay, then let's just take a quick look here at equipment. Hayden. For a pistol. These are all basically the same as what you have, so that's fine. Armor-wise, I think you're probably sticking with what you have here. Yeah, it's just a better version of this. And in terms of amps, arguably you could make the case that that's better, but I think we'll probably stick with what we have here. And then probably gonna stick with your Omni tool as well. Ashley, armor-wise, yeah, we saw a while ago there was a Titan 5 we could buy from, what was it, the requisition officer on the Normandy, and so was identical to what she's currently wearing. So yeah, good thing we did not opt to buy it. I suspected that was what she had. I didn't do that though. Other weapons, so very unlikely you'll actually need that to be better. This, yeah, any one of these shotguns would be better. The Sokolov looks like it's the best here, but I think it's just because this is basically the equivalent to Devlon Industries shotguns, just one higher rarity. So it's I think this is the damage manufacturer basically, whereas our max focuses on accuracy, as you can see there. And Casa, what's Casa focus on in that case? They just don't have good heatsink capacity, but their accuracy is lower, their damage is higher, so they're... I don't know. It does seem like Sokolov is maybe still the way to go here. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, that's a little bit better. So let's go with our loop here. See what we find along the way. Of course, eventually we'll find ourselves in a mercenary base, much like we had in the previous mission, I would assume, at least on the previous planet. Or with this being just part 2 of this same encounter, same mission. And you can go with either one of them first. We just so happened to take the other one before we took this one, so I don't think there's really much reason to suspect this one to be more difficult than the other, or easier for that matter. I imagine it's roughly the same. Unless just by happenstance, conditions are such that, by sort of coincidence, like maybe the layout of the base itself is slightly different in terms of where there is and is not cover, could potentially switch up the strategy a bit for that reason. Alright, well, we did kind of fall down there. It's unfortunate. That's what I get for getting a little bit too aggressive with the boosting. But anyways, we're on to our first hidden area here, or notable encounter, this being first beryllium. Ooh, bad timing. Hold up. But that was just silly. There we go. That's more like it. Okay. Carrying on. So I think this planet, at least by the looks of things, the terrain is uneven enough that I think we're safe from any enemies that rhyme with... What would it rhyme with? Pressure and thaw. I didn't say the magic word. I know I always say it, but I didn't say it that time. Does open up a bit here, though. So if there were a place for something like that to happen, it would be around here. We are reaching the edge of the map now. Let's make sure we check this little corner here. So there isn't something nestled right in. But it appears not. Let's keep on moving. And at least, because this area is much more level, does fortunately mean we can cover it much more quickly, it does seem. So that much is convenient. Oh, look at that. Mako taking on the terrain like a pro. Fuzz up in you! Okay. Here's some debris. Usually that's something that shows up on our map to begin with here, so we probably already knew about that? Yeah, we did. Okay, that's fine. Of course, still opting to check it out here. That was a crazy one. Now, we did actually take a tiny sliver of damage from that fall. As you can see there, now our life bar has showed up on the Mako, and when it comes to the red health, just a tiny little bit that we no longer have. So it is actually possible to take some damage on the Mako from doing things like that, but it's usually so small that it's pretty darn insignificant. So let's, hold on. It's leveled up to get out. It is. There we go. Crash probe. Waiting for an opening. Okay, we got polonium rounds, cryo explosive. Don't really think either of those are going to be of particular. Well, what's it? Polonium rounds? That is of interest. It's just we have a fair number of them already. So let's see. There is the crash escape pod. Oh, and an anomaly here. I mean, that's not the specific objective we were looking for. The Syndicate Hideout, because I was going to say we definitely want to finish with that. I mean, these things are all close together, so you can make the case we could just go for this now, and then if we're going to go for that now, then we might as well go for this now as well. But I do like to finish with the most notable stuff. I think that tends to work best for us. So we'll be back. Let's just make sure that we can still find the edge of the map here, so we don't potentially miss anything in the southerly direction. Not think we went this far north, though. There we go. That's the edge. And here is the western edge as well. So we'll just go a tad further. See if there's anything hiding in this corner. It's not looking like it, and I kind of would have liked to have kept our elevation there. Just make future traversal a little bit more straightforward. So we can say, stay up here. And not have to worry too much about having to ascend to 90-degree angles, at least not for a little bit. But to tell you the truth, this planet has not been bad in that regard. It's hilly, but we haven't had much in the way of super steep mountains that we need to traverse. Just about everything has been manageable. Knock on wood. Ooh, this is a weird one. So like that, for example, not the most graceful of landings, but we didn't take any damage from that. So Mako can take a lot in terms of crazy falls. I don't know what it technically is that determines whether you take damage or not. If it's the actual fall height, or if it's the angle on which you're landing. Like that didn't hurt us either, despite us landing awkwardly on the side of our wheel. But I would think, even if you tried, I'm not even sure if I could destroy the Mako just by fall damage alone if I tried. It's such a small sliver, and like I said, I don't technically know what it is that is causing it. If it's just the fall height, or if it's the angle that you're landing on. Alright, well, now we're approaching the northern border, and that means, once we get here, and we have now been to, where did we go straight north to begin with? Yeah, we started in, like, right here, didn't we? So let's just finish our loop, as we're close to it, and we'll head back into the middle, and see what, if anything, is over there, because it does seem like that's where all the action is. And that's probably a safe thing to do now, because I imagine this maybe flat area here could be where we initially landed in. Let's head to the middle now, and there could be some other random things for the middle that we did not see when we were going around the perimeter, so we might not have quite been close enough to them. But only one way to find out. Yeah, there is in fact a mineral deposit right next to this camp here, and there are some enemies outside the camp. I forget, was that also the case in the previous one? There were, I think, some turrets. I don't think there were just normal soldiers. But if they have snipers, then they can, in some cases, they use their assassination ability, hit just as hard, perhaps maybe even harder, than the turrets can. So don't brush them under the rug. Here they are. They have seen us. We just blew, I think, at least 3 of them up there. Anyone else? Someone in this tower? There is. Why, hello there, mercenary sniper. Goodbye there. guessing this last person may be in another tower. Yeah. Perhaps this? Not sure if we can actually hit them from this angle though. But, well, apparently we can. Apparently we can. Because there are no more red dots around the base. So why don't we hit this little resource here? Platinum? Yeah, you know, why don't we take the platinum, I'd say. That might be kind of nice to have on hand. Oh, I just rushed that a little bit too much. There we go. Get the platinum. And then I suppose let's also check out these things that we were talking about earlier that we were saying we were tempted to check, but we felt like, maybe we wait until make a committed effort to finishing up this area. That being the question mark and the X over here. One of them being an anomaly that I don't think we know anything about. The other one, well, I'm not entirely sure what it might be. It's a crash probe, it looks like. Damaged escape pod, actually. And interestingly, you'll see we got out of the Mako, then came back in it. And we no longer see that the Mako is damaged. Which is, peculiar. There's all the footprints leading away from this escape pod, but no sign of any survivors. Huh. Unsettling. Old footprints, but no survivors, you say? Still a question mark over here, though. It really looks like, if you look at the bottom right corner there, the X that we just did, that's currently sort of to the bottom and left of us, if I drive, it really looks like that X is just moving and has a life of its own. Maybe it's just because we're right next to it. No, it's moving. Like, the X is getting far closer to the question mark when we went in this direction. That. Then if we go over here, suddenly the X is moving away from it. Like now it doesn't look like it's next to the question mark anymore. What's up with that? Just eyeing that out of the corner of my eye and thought, what is happening? Is the crash escape pod growing a pair of legs and walking away? Is it haunted? Well, perhaps it has something to do with this elaborate camera work there. No. The mummified Solarian, right here, has a nice little beacon next to it. That's I don't know what to make of that. But anyways, medallion recovered. This dead traveler had a League of One medallion. Where he found it and what he was trying to do with it is unclear. Was that the person whose footsteps we saw? Perhaps? Perhaps? I believe that marks the last of the anomalies that we know about here. So I think we're headed into the Syndicate Hideout at this stage. Whoa, that's a big fall. Alright, and now we go back to the Mako, and now it once again has that tiny sliver of damage to it. So, I don't know, at this point, I think maybe when the Mako has taken such a tiny amount of damage, perhaps the game just doesn't know what to do with it. It's like, well, it's statistically insignificant. So, I'm just gonna let you have it and not actually factor it in at all. Here's the area where there were, once upon a time, a bunch of enemies, but we just blasted them all to smithereens with the Mako. So let's head in here, but before we do, we probably are going to want to save. Let's at least do that. Alright. Now let's see how this mercenary base compares to the last one. And I think by the looks of things here, you can already tell that it is a different layout. As we were previously going into the typical research base layout, whereas this is more the typical underground layout. With being an underground hideout, I suppose that does make sense. Similar theme, though, in that there's a small room that we start off with, or at least this tiny hallway that leads into this small room. Then we have the larger room where I would expect will be the primary place where we fight them. And then last time we saw two small rooms at the end after we did fight everyone, and we got some very good loot in there, so fingers crossed that perhaps we'll find something similar here as well. But excuse me. See, like, Ashley and Caden, we kind of need to get through. We kind of need to get through, so, like, you could maybe, I don't know, prep. There, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Alright, so we saw... Suddenly the music kicks in. Saw a red marker there for an enemy. I mean, of course, we're going to find some enemies in here, I would have to imagine, right? We're trying to fight a crime lord. Doesn't look like there's anything in this room for us to loot. So I think we're just going to head in that case. Let's make sure we got weapons drawn here and that people are using the right ones at that. Like, for example, why did we just pull out a sniper rifle? No, thank you. Ashley, this is a tough one for you. Is this close enough range that we want to go shotgun? I can definitely not sniper. Assault rifle is definitely the simple, straightforward answer because it's kind of an easy middle ground. So maybe we stick with that for now. But let's see. The last time we saw a lot of enemies in here, fairly powerful enemies at that, in the previous base. But it was relatively close quarters, very confined, lots of barriers in the actual facility. What with this being a totally different layout, not sure what we're going to see here. How about people immediately noticing us? But I would love if we could get their attention and just fall back and bring them through this to us. This is a great place. I mean, it's even like, it's kind of sort of some cover. Like, if we come from here, like, we're a large portion of our body is covered. So that's cool. But no, they did not follow us. And yes, there is a lot of stuff barriers-wise, it would seem. Okay, we've got this mercenary. Let's stasis here. Perhaps. There is a sniper back there. Just saw the assassination red line. I'd like to yank it for you. Hello. Couple of mercenaries. 3 mercenaries by our mini-map, in fact, that are all rushing us here. So, let's see. This is definitely time for some crowd control. Caden, if you could maybe neural shock one of them. That's not the one I was thinking, or that might be one that we can't quite see. Then why don't we already use stasis, so that's on cooldown. Let's lift. You are a problem here. Somebody needs to deal with this guy. Let's throw you. There's the person who is flying up overhead. Someone is shooting. They're still not dead yet. They're still not dead yet. Now they are dead. Finally. Still someone close by. Yeah. You. Let's overload your shields and shoot you in the face. And they are coming to us, which is nice, but you're a sniper that's hanging out in the back, which is a problem. You're gonna be kind of hard to deal with. Unless we sabotage your assault rifle, or your sniper rifle, rather, and then try to rush it down. Alternatively, we do have stasis back. We can try doing that. Let's get a little bit closer, if we dare. Are you both snipers? You are both snipers, aren't you? Don't like that. Don't like that. Sabotage you? Excuse me? Did not both get sabotaged? Or rather, one did not get stasis. The other one probably did get sabotage, but now this I don't like. They've got like perfect sniping position on us. At least we did shoot one of them dead. That definitely helps. We are kind of just like sitting ducks, waiting to get slaughtered here by the snipers. This person might... Okay, they're trying to move in on us. And I'm actually perfectly alright with that. I don't think this is a sniper. Is it? Did that just say sniper? Are you dead? You are now. Okay, there may only be 2 people left now. I think one of them is a sniper, though, because I thought I saw an assassination coming from a different angle. Let's throw on some barriers here, and maybe... You don't yet have immunity back, actually, but once you do now. I'm thinking we send you out as our decoy. Take some of the fire here. And okay, it's mercenary here. I'm not sure we've seen the actual crime lord yet. Might be the person who's kind of hanging out back there. So let's see, let's save the stasis maybe for that crime lord. And let's have Caden maybe overload shields and we'll sabotage weapons. Okay, they're gone. Oh, it's this person, and they are a sniper. This is the person I was thinking of that before. Okay, I would like stasis. You did not actually get stasis. Sufficiently, we're hidden behind cover. Okay, they're down, but there is still at least one enemy here. And like I said, I imagine it's probably Crime Lord. Yep, Crime Boss. I'm sorry, I got their name wrong. Great. That would be great. Stasis them. I like that a lot. We have it back. We nearly have it back. Should now have it back. Okay, we have stasis for Crime Lord. Let's shoot him in the back of the head. Second Crime Lord defeated. That's both of them. No doubt Helena Blake will be overjoyed to learn that these two scum are no longer a problem. Music just completely drops out, and then, you know, the guy shatters in a shard of glass. Okay, there's an upgrade kit here. Let's nab this. Incendiary ammo, cryo rounds a level lower. That's not great. But let's see. Whoa! Oh. I know it said that everyone was gone, but I really thought Ashley was an enemy that was just running straight toward us for a second there. Where did you come from? Oh, goodness. But let's see what loot we might find here, because as we've already found, there does appear to be at least some stuff here that's lootable. What is this? Huh? The heck? Okay. There does appear to be at least some stuff that's lootable in this room. Like, this is what, a bed pit? Question mark? Or at least that's usually the model for it, but I'm not sure if that's actually accessible, to tell you the truth. Can we even get that? Can we climb up this? And if we can climb up this, then we can climb up that, and then we could definitely get there and take it. Although, if it is just a med kit and nothing else, then we don't really need Metagel. We're fine in that regard, so it doesn't really matter. More so the juicy weapon and ammo and armor upgrades that we are particularly interested in nabbing. Yeah, we checked that corner. Let's just see this side. We did not really spend much of any time here. And sometimes, especially when there's this much stuff hanging around here, it can be hard to see even if there is loot. Sometimes it's hidden behind something and you need to be looking at it from a specific angle to even find it at all. But it looks like that's the vast majority of stuffs. At least in this room. Perhaps everything. So now let's check out these areas, and again, just drawing comparisons to the previous hideout we were in. Oh, that's just a dead end. These led to rooms that had a lot of good loot in them. So, may not be much here. Oh, there's a secondary way out. My guess is that is the case. Yeah, I suppose. Hold on. Is that just a thing that we knocked down, or is that something? That's just another thing that we could theoretically knock down, is what that is. Alright, now that we've done that, I think we can say definitively that we are done here. The important stuff is definitely taken care of now. Oh, looky here. Yes, it does lead to another room. And said room does perhaps have things of particular interest. Okay, just want to make sure we're not, like blowing up that fire containment system on ourselves by accident. There we go. Just to be safe. Just to be safe. Alright, so we've got what? Average and easy decryption, a couple of easy decryption ones, just lots of weapon lockers and secure weapon lockers. Okay. Let's take a look at what we have here. We've got Ooh, assault rifle by Rosenkopf. Yeah, that's good. Sniper by Casa. Sniper by Armax. Those are all good manufacturers. That's nice. And this one here, everything opens up for us. Not as good in this case. This stuff is, at this point, pretty much junk. But then, average decryption, a little bit tougher. Might we find some better stuff in here? And find a good time to make it in? Okay, we have good pistol, good shotgun, and bad sniper rifle. Okay. Collectively, across all those things, got some decent stuff. And fortunately, you know, for a minute there, it looked like if we were only going to find this one source of loot in this building and only that, then it would seem as though this is going to be considerably worse than the previous area that we were just in, because like I said, that gave us some very good stuff. Most notably, that powerful biotic amp upgrade. Nothing in that corner, is there? No? You'll never speak of that lamp again? Alright, so that should mean at this point that we have done everything that there is to do on this planet. Let's just take a quick scan of our map. But yeah, we did our usual loop around, found a couple of resource deposits, and then a bunch of stuff in and around the facility. So let's head back to the Normandy. Okay, so now that we've taken out both of the crime lords, take a look at our journal here. I think we'll find that for hostile takeover, yeah, this is highlighting. So it said, hold on. After eliminating them, meet Miss Blake in the Fortuna system for a reward. So go to the Fortuna system in the Horsehead Nebula and meet Helena Blake to claim your reward. Alright, so yeah, after having taken out both of those crime lords, she's seemingly ready to pay up, so that sounds good to me, I suppose. Nice. So, it was Horsehead Nebula, and it was... Horsehead is what? Here? That was sort of... that far out? I didn't think so. It was closer in and closer towards the center of the galaxy. Hold on. This is local Horsehead. Okay, it's the same with the Novaria. That is. It is close to the middle. Okay, so it's not the one with Novaria. Not Strennis, we've already been there. It is Fortuna. Okay. So there's a non-zero chance that we've already at least taken some kind of look in here, but there's also a non-zero chance that this just wasn't even available to us until we learned about this mission. And again, that was a little while ago, so yeah, don't know. We'll see if there's new stuff in here or if it is just that planet where we're expecting to find Helena Blake. Alright, so now that we are here in the Fortuna system, let's see if this is actually new to us or if we've been here before. And usually the metric we use is see if there are planets that are still yet unsurveyed, and as we see here, we've not yet surveyed Magonlis, so that would suggest that yes, this is new to us. So Magonlis is a rock terrestrial with an atmosphere of sulfur dioxide and trace amounts of helium. Scans reveal ancient lava plains on the surface, implying a geologically active past. It doesn't look like a rock terrestrial. This looks like a gas giant, unless the rocks are all green, or like this limeish green. Crust consists of sulfur and basalts, but the planet's mass suggests a core of iron and heavier materials. Cursory drill coring suggests the possibility of simple subterranean life. Wow! It's extremely cold on the surface, but I suppose subterraneally? Subterraneally? That's a word? Perhaps. Let's survey it, though. And we'll find a Turian insignia. While scanning the planet Magonlis, we discovered the remains of a damaged research vessel. The recon team found no signs of survivors, but they did bring back a Rocam outpost insignia. Okay, then we've got Theramlon. Not to be confused with Therum, which is the planet on which we found Liara. Theramlon is a frigid world with a thick nitrogen-argon atmosphere. The crust consists of silicates and various unremarkable ores, but is surprisingly rich in phosphates. Since the atmosphere lacks free oxygen, the phosphates are relatively pure and could be of value in the manufacture of fertilizers and incendiary ammo. Okay, I suppose. Still quite cold, but let's survey it. Rare elements surveyed. While scanning this planet, you detected a small but valuable deposit of plutonium. Okay. Then as we start getting further out still, we've got Amaranthine. Say Amaranthine. Amaranthine is a chilly rock world with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Its frozen surface consists largely of light titanium and aluminum oxides, deposits of thorium and other heavy metals located in the deep crust. Amaranthine was named by the human poet Sophia Cabral during her tour of duty abroad aboard the Alliance surveyor ship Coupe. Under the dim light of the red dwarf Fortuna, the surface of this world is lit in rich twilight blues and purples, even at midday. Okay, I mean, you said it was cold. It is definitely cold. Minus 178 degrees Celsius. I want to say there are, in fact, even planets that have had warmer temperatures than that have had Cold Hazard 1, perhaps even Cold Hazard 2. And that's one thing that the game is a little bit inconsistent about, is, you know, it's not necessarily a cut and dry. If you are colder than minus 100 degrees Celsius, then you have Cold Hazard 1. If you are colder than negative 200 degrees Celsius, then you have Cold Hazard 2. It kind of moves around where that line is, so sometimes, like I was saying, there are times when a planet is very cold but does not have any cold hazard, and sometimes there are planets that are warmer than that, and yet they do. So this is, in fact, the place where we can land, but we'll hold off, at least for now, until we scan the rest of the planets around here. So let's see. Wentania. Our data on Wentania is very limited. When the system was charted by the line surveyor Coupe, only a small unmanned flyby probe was spared for the distant world. It's a small rock and ice planet with a trace atmosphere of krypton and sulfur dioxide. Normandy's more detailed survey suggests the frozen terrestrial may be a suitable target for mining. While it is largely water ice, mapping of mass communication suggests it has a core of pure aluminum. Okay, and yes, it is minus 237 degrees Celsius, so not wrong about that being particularly cold. But that appears to be everything in the Fortuna system. Of course, the most notable thing being that we can land here on Amaranthine, where we are expecting to run into Helena Blake once more. So let's make our move.